Hey everybody, it's Ted from It's All About the Rack. So today's video, I'm going to tell you straight up, straightforward. At times it's going to suck. So I warned you. Okay? I did. Trying to. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so today we are going to be showing you and testing out a vacuum chamber machine. This model is a DZ-260C. 115 volt, 120 volt, 110 volt, whatever you prefer. Okay, so dimensions. We're 16 by 12 and a half. By 9.5 high, the unit itself. The inside chamber, now this is effectively where you could put a bag, so it's going to be 10.5 by 10.5. Okay, so there's one unit, this being the back of the unit, there's one screw at the very bottom down here. And we took that out with the supplied Allen key. And then basically what we're going to do is going to rock the unit forward, which it has keeper screws at the very front of the machine. It's going to head and open it all the way. Now it's pretty simple, this being your vacuum pump, transformer. It's got a hose that goes over to a filter up into the chamber. It's got a pressure switch over here and a control board. That's basically it. So the unit does not ship with oil, even though it gives you that little oil bottle. I guess they cannot ship the unit with oil. So the instructions say that we are to fill it with a number 67 weight, I believe, vacuum pump oil. This is basically a rotary vane vacuum pump. So if you can find vacuum pump oil for whatever brand or whatever quality, vacuum pump oil is pretty much vacuum pump oil, people. There's not a whole lot of differences in it. So I've got some vacuum pump oil here that I'm going to go ahead and use to fill. And again, like I said, we're going to fill it to the oil fill line, which is half full. They say you can go between half and basically 3/4. So all we're going to do is go ahead and add this vacuum pump oil. Paying attention to our level. So we filled it for a little bit and then it started to rise rather quickly. So just be careful and be wary of that. Add it kind of slow. So I'm going to say that that is a little bit over half, not quite 3/4. So we should be right in the range of where it should be. So we'll go ahead and we'll put the fill plug back in. Now they do recommend changing the oil after 120 hours. Now, I do know something about vacuum pumps with the industry that I'm in, and I can say that the lifeblood of vacuum pump oil is moisture. So when moisture basically collects into the oil, it can no longer hold moisture in it. So the oil that you're putting in, if it's a humid day or something like that and there's a lot of humidity in the air, obviously there may be more water that's actually going to end up into the oil. So just kind of be wary of that. The oil color itself should be a slight yellowish tinge to clear. And when you start getting moisture into it, that oil is going to start turning into like a palish yellow, off-white yellow, or even like a milky kind of color. I would say at that point in time, that oil is spent. You're going to need to go ahead and change it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the unit buttoned up, and we'll show you the operation of the unit. Okay, so we're back. The one thing I want to caution about this is just be a little careful along the edges of this. seems to be kind of sharp. It almost needs really a metal file against it. It's not so bad that it cut me, but it's definitely a little sharp. So again, being a cheaper based unit, I think that's kind of where fit, finish, all that kind of stuff is going to come in. It's not your $900,000, $1,200 unit. So again, basic unit, no real frills to it, but it's going to do the job. So we've got it plugged in. We're going to go ahead and power it on. And it comes up with a double dash. So whether it's the dash or it could say ED, usually it says ED, signifying it's the end of the process, the end of the vacuum that you've just pulled. In either case, ED or double dash, the unit is ready to go. So what we're going to do is, now these are the bags actually. I just want to talk about the bags really quick. You can get different mil thickness bags. So this bag that I got here, it is a 8x12. It's a 3 mil bag. I actually ended up buying a whole entire case of them, which was $1,000. I got a really good deal I could not pass up. So I went ahead and bought the case of them. It's a local provider here. I can put the link down in the description as well. And basically, these are the bags. Now these are much better bag, a thicker, I don't want to say necessarily thicker because I don't know the mil of like a vacuum saver bag, but you can see that these bags are smooth on the inside. There are no little perforations or anything. The food saver bags basically are perforated, which what that does is when you put your product in there, it creates a tiny like micro channel to get air to pull through. So it actually, with those units, they recommend using their bag or, you know, a similar bag. I know there's probably some copycats out there or whatnot, but the cost of those bags versus the cost of this, like I said, I got these for probably less than 7 cents a bag. If you were to buy an 8x12 pre-made bag through Food Saver, I'm going to say you're probably in the range of at least $1, $1.25, something like that per bag. So you can really see the savings is going to end up offsetting itself purchasing this unit. Whether it's this unit, the cheaper unit, or you go with a higher end unit, if you do any vacuum sealing at all, this unit's definitely going to pay for itself in the long run. So again, like I said, we're going to go ahead and seal up a couple of things, show you how it works. So here's the front of the unit. It's pretty basic. This one is straight out of China, guys. You've heard of straight out of Compton. This is straight out of China. So it's got your vacuum gauge. It's got your stop. It's got your set for your different settings, whether it's going to be changing the settings for the vacuum, sealing, or the cool down. You've got your increase, decrease, and your start. It does have a digital display. Does tell you it's working. Basic, no frills. So, as you can see, it does have a acrylic or plastic clear top. It is bubbled at the top, so you can put some larger things in there. And I'll get a dimension and give that to you guys. And dimension on the whole unit as well. But basically, it just flips up. There isn't any sort of lock position or a bar to lock the top whenever you're transporting this thing, but it is lighter than some of the other units, and I'll get a weight on it for you as well. But inside this, you get the finest high quality screwdriver you could pretty much imagine. You're going to get an Allen key. You're going to get a metal heat strip, I believe, and then the covering for it. You get a cord. You get an oil bottle with no oil, guys. There's no vacuum pump oil in this. Fortunately, I do sell vacuum pump oil through work, so I can get it there. You do need to add oil before you start the unit. This is a oiled unit. The benefits of an oiled unit is that it actually gets a better vacuum because it can pull moisture that's in the ambient air into the oil, and it's a quieter running machine as well. You get instructions, but these instructions are incredibly basic instructions. So there's only one other video that I actually seen on this unit. And I know he's had his, it was through Man Cave Meals, I believe. I'll put a link down in the description as well to his video if anybody wants to check it out. Essentially, pretty much the same video. I had been looking at these units before I seen his video, and I went on the internet and looked and really didn't see a whole lot about these, and went to YouTube, and I ended up finding a couple of videos. Some of them are just straight Chinese speakers, or there's no language at all, kind of showing you the basics of the unit. And Man Cave Meals does give you a good rundown, shows you, so it's going to be a very similar video. And I know Fire and Water just got a unit, and I was looking at those, and the units that come from that manufacturer, just a little too rich for my pocket right now that I'm willing to spend. So this unit, like I said, straight out of China, guys. It definitely beats any type of food saver machine you guys are ever going to use. This does pull an actual vacuum in the entire chamber. So up in this upper chamber, it pulls a complete vacuum. The benefits of that is that you can do water, you can do liquids, soups, stuff in bags that are liquids. You don't have to worry about it like in a, a cheaper, lesser unit. Like I say, the food saver type machines where you have to worry about pulling the liquid up to the seal, and then it actually will not get a seal. So this one actually pulls a vacuum in the chamber, so it's going below atmospheric pressure. And then what happens is it will go ahead and seal the bag. Once it seals the bag, it'll reintroduce atmospheric air back into the chamber, which then causes that bag, being under a vacuum, to then basically just suck inward, and that's where you get your vacuum in on everything. So this one does come with a seal bar. It is, I'm going to say, probably 1/2 inch wide. You do have a little bar that you can thread the bag through, lock it down. That way the bag's not going to go anywhere. I don't believe some of the other brands have those. Whether that's a good option or a bad option, I don't know. But again, I'll get you a complete dimension, depth. I'll put everything down in the description on this, or just measure it up and show you. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and fill the unit up with oil, and go ahead and show you guys the operation. So let me get this set up, and I'll be right back. All right, now setting this as far as the time goes, we have our ED setting, which is the end of the last seal. So we're going to go ahead and press the seal, or the set button, to go to the vacuum. Now this is basically the time, your duration of vacuum. So if we want to do it, let's just leave it at 30 seconds for now. Sealing, let's change that down to, standard is 1.4 seconds. And then our cool off, definitely going to change that down to 1 second. So that's set. We're going to hit the start button. And you can see the gauge is pulling down. So where it ends up in this vacuum, it's kind of immaterial, really. It could pull all the way down, but as long as it's pulling into this green zone, basically you're good. The deeper the better, obviously, but that's pretty much essentially it. So Okay, so we're going to wait till it hits our ED. That way we know everything is cooled down and it's ready to go. And there's our product sealed. All the air is completely out of it. You can see the seal width. It's about 3/8 of an inch, I'd say, all the way across. Some of them have a double seal. Again, those are the higher end units. But you can see trying to smudge the package to get the package to separate. It's not separating, and it's got a pretty good vacuum. So again, longer the vacuum, the better the vacuum. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you the actual process of the chamber sealing the package. We have our package in there. We have it just slightly over the seal bar. We have our package stay down. Now, if you can see this little rubbery type bar that comes down actually sits against the package and the seal bar itself. So that's actually where you're getting your seal from. So we're going to set that in, and we'll go ahead and hit the start button. So again, this is on the 32nd seal. I don't know if you can pick this up, but this unit is actually running. It's very, very quiet. Okay, so there you've seen the seal operation of it. So again, nice seal on our package. Again, the longer we go on a seal, the better vacuum we're going to get, the tighter the package is going to be. Now we have a package of ground beef. So I've went ahead and changed the vacuum time to 45 seconds. And I left the seal at the same time, as well as the cool down of the bar. So let's go ahead and start that. Okay, done with our package of ground beef. And you can see, again, tight seal package on that. Good seal at the top. All right, guys, that's basically it. Like I say, you get the good gist of the operation itself and the overview of the unit. And I just wanted to, like I say, show you about this unit because it's definitely a lesser cost unit to some of the higher end machines that are out there. And it's a little bit more expensive, probably double the price, if you will, of one of the higher end food saver machines if you're getting it from Costco or Sam's or one of those type of places, or maybe Coupon, whatever. So again, like I say, I can put a link of the unit where I got it, but if you just look on eBay, I ended up getting it off of eBay. Just watch your pricing on eBay because some of the units, they may show a cheaper price, and what they're doing with that is they're including shipping, and the shipping may be higher priced. I did get this unit for like $300 basically, and free shipping. So for an introductory chamber vacuum system, in my opinion, it was kind of a no-brainer. And so far, with a couple of packages that I've sealed, works pretty good. So if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I'll try and answer any questions you have about the unit or vacuum sealing in general. I've been vacuum sealing. I usually buy in bulk at wholesale clubs. And I, again, was a meat cutter at one time, so I'm fully experienced with cutting full pork loins and different cuts of meat. So for me, this is actually going to work out really well. The other thing to consider, guys, is if it's maybe you and one or two or three other people, and you're going to end up doing briskets and pork butts and things like that, there's always overage. And you can get a unit like this, seal it up, put it in the freezer, use it some other time for tacos or chilies or anything like that that you want to incorporate into a recipe. So again, inexpensive way to get into a chamber vac system. So if you have any questions, like I said, leave them in the comments. I'll try and answer anything I can for you guys. And please like and subscribe, ring the bell, and see you on the next video. Hey everybody, it's Ted from It's All About the Rack. So today's video, it's gonna suck, I'm gonna promise you. That's pretty much the reason why. Can't keep these tripods straight sometimes. Blooper reel.